You'll think the creature wanted to drown me. You'll assume it was some mutated fish or a swamp monster. But the truth? It didn't want my body. It wanted my voice, to replace the one it stole from my sister. And by the time I realized what it was doing, I'd already given it exactly what it needed to trap me forever. Let me start from the beginning. My family rented a lakeside cabin in the middle of nowhere. Mom said it'd be a digital detox. No Wi-Fi, no TV, just a rusty dock and water so dark it looked like oil. The first night, my little sister Mia found a waterlogged journal under a loose floorboard. Its pages were filled with frantic handwriting. Do not swim after dark. It imitates. It lures. It takes. We laughed. Dad called it a prank by the last renters. But Mia kept reading. The entries described a creature that mimicked voices, dragged people underwater, and left their clothes folded neatly on the shore. The last page was a sketch. A humanoid thing with too many joints, eyes like fogged glass, and a mouth stretched into a grin full of broken teeth. The second night, we heard knocking from under the dock. 3 slow thuds like someone tapping from below the water. Mia dared me to check. I grabbed a flashlight. The beam cut through the black water, and for a second, I saw a pale hand pressed against the underside of the dock. Too long, too thin. Then it vanished. Dad said it was a fish. Mom said I was stressed. But Mia believed me. She started sleepwalking, standing at the edge of the dock every night, whispering to the water. When I pulled her back, her skin was icy. On the 4th night, the journal updated itself. I woke to Mia's scream. Her bed was empty. We searched the woods until sunrise. Finally, Dad found her sundress on the dock, perfectly dry, with a new page tucked into the pocket. The handwriting was Mia's. It's so cold down here. Let me out, let me out, let me out. I dove into the lake. The water was thick, suffocating. Something brushed my leg, slimy, muscular. I surfaced, gasping, and saw Mia standing on the dock. Except it wasn't her. Her eyes were milk white, her smile jagged. She pointed at the journal in my hand. The pages now showed a list of names, dates stretching back to the 1800s. The last entry was mine. The cops called it a drowning. Mom and Dad left the next day. I stayed. I had to. The creature visits every night. It wears Mia's face, her voice, even her laugh, but it's learning. Last night it spoke in my voice. It said, "You should have read the journal closer. The names aren't victims. They're guardians." I checked. The names matched missing persons reports, all last seen at this lake. Guardians bound to protect others from the creature by becoming its voice. Now, when I look in the mirror, my lips are blue. My throat burns like I've swallowed lake water. And the journal's last page has a new sketch. Me, standing on the dock, mouth sewn shut with fishing line. The creature doesn't want to kill me. It wants me to replace it. But here's the worst part. I'm starting to forget Mia's real voice. All I hear is the thing in the water, singing with my lungs. You'll think the chains in the basement were meant to keep something out, but the truth is far worse. They were meant to keep something in, and my grandfather wasn't the victim. He was the jailer. By the time I figured it out, I'd already taken his place. Let me explain. I inherited my grandfather's cabin on Blackwater Lake after he drowned. The family never talked about him. Mom said he was troubled, but the locals whispered he'd made a deal with the lake. The cabin was rotting, its basement flooded knee-deep with murky water. I decided to fix it up, sell it, and forget. The place existed. The first day I found the chains. They were bolted to the basement walls, thick, rusted iron links sunk into concrete. The floor was scratched, deep grooves like something had clawed its way out. A fisherman warned me, "Your granddaddy stayed here to keep it fed. You ought to leave before sundown." I laughed. Fed? It was a lake. Fish. Ducks. What was there? To feed? That night I heard it, a low hum vibrating through the floorboards. The water in the basement rippled, though there was no wind. I grabbed a flashlight and waded in. The beam caught something pale under the surface, a hand bone-thin pressed against the concrete. I stumbled back. The chains rattled and the water stilled. The next morning, I found claw marks on the basement door. I called a contractor. He refused to step inside. "This place is wrong," he said. "That water's not from the lake. It's coming from under the house." I dismissed him. But when I drained the basement, it flooded again overnight. The hum grew louder. On the third night, I saw her, a woman in a white dress, standing on the lake's edge. Her skin was blue-tinged, hair stringy with algae. She pointed to the basement. I followed her gaze. The chains were broken. The water bubbled violently, and something massive shifted beneath the surface, a shadow longer than the house itself. I ran. The woman appeared in my living room, dripping wet. "He promised us," she hissed, "one guardian per generation. Your grandfather held it for 40 years, now it's your turn." The basement flooded completely the next day. The hum became a roar. I found my grandfather's journal in a locked drawer. His entries were frantic. "It's getting stronger. The sacrifices aren't enough. It wants a family." Sacrifices. The fisherman's words clicked. The animals left on the dock, the missing hikers, the drowned kayakers, all fed to the thing under the house. The woman returned that night. "It's awake," she said. "You have to chain yourself. It's the only way to stop it." She handed me a key, the same one my grandfather wore around his neck in old photos. I didn't believe her. Until the basement door burst open. Water surged into the house, dragging me toward the flooded room. The chains hooked themselves around my wrists, cold and biting. The shadow rose, a monstrous shape with glowing eyes and a mouth full of jagged stone teeth. It whispered in my grandfather's voice, "Thank you, boy. Now I can rest." The water receded. The chains held. The woman was gone. But the journal updated itself this morning. New names, new dates. My grandfather's entry now reads, "Guardian released, 2023. New guardian accepted." I tried to leave. The cabin door won't open. The lake's water is rising again, and the shadow beneath the house is growing, hungrier. Here's the secret no one tells you. The chains don't protect the world from the creature. They protect the creature from the world, and I'm its new keeper. You'll assume Clara's ghost is haunting me. You'll think this is a tragic love story. But the lake doesn't hold spirits. It collects them. And the message she sent wasn't a cry for help. It was bait. By the time I realized, I'd already become its next trophy. Let me explain. I bought the houseboat to escape. After Clara's promotion, our relationship crumbled. The Pantanal wetlands seemed perfect. Quiet, isolated, no Wi-Fi. But Clara hated it from day one. "This place feels alive," she said, staring at the black water. "It's watching us." The first week, strange things happened. Our coffee tasted like algae. Our clothes stayed damp no matter how long they dried. Clara started sleepwalking, standing on the deck at 3 a.m. whispering to the lake. I'd find her soaked, her hair tangled with weeds. "It's teaching me to breathe underwater," she'd say, laughing. Then she vanished. The police found her body 3 days later, floating near the houseboat. The coroner said she'd drowned, but her lungs were full of mud, not water. Her phone was missing. The cops called it an accident. I called it a lie. 2 nights after her funeral, my phone buzzed. A text from Clara's number. "Come back to the houseboat. I'm still here." I shouldn't have gone, but I did. The houseboat was rotting. The walls sagged, the floorboards soft as sponge. Clara's voice echoed from the bedroom. "You left me here. Now you have to stay." I followed it. The room was flooded, water lapping at the bed frame. On the pillow lay her phone. The screen lit up. A video of her, alive, screaming as something pulled her under the houseboat. The timestamp last night. I tried to leave. The door was jammed. The water rose to my knees. Clara's voice giggled through the walls. "It's not me you should fear. It's the lake. It's hungry." I smashed a window, swam to shore, and drove all night. But when I stopped for gas, her phone was in my glove box. New messages, photos of me sleeping in my car. A voicemail. "You can't run. It chose you." I returned to the houseboat. The water was still. Too still. Under the deck something glinted. Clara's necklace, clutched in a skeletal hand wedged between the pontoons. The hand wasn't human. The fingers were webbed. The nails curved like hooks. That's when I understood. The lake isn't haunted. It's alive. It mimics. It lures. It replaces. Clara wasn't the first. Her messages weren't hers. They were the lake's, using her face to trap me. Last night, the houseboat sank. I woke up on the shore, coughing up black water. Clara's phone was in my pocket. A new video played. Me, standing on the deck, smiling as the houseboat dragged me under. The timestamp, tomorrow. The lake doesn't want victims. It wants replacements. Clara's role is filled. Now it needs a new voice. And if you're hearing this, it might already have yours. If you've made it this far, then you know this story is just the beginning. But trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a spine-chilling moment. Every week, we dive deeper into the unknown, unraveling dark stories and unexplained mysteries that'll keep you up at night. And hey, if you enjoyed the terror, share this with your friends, because what's the fun in being scared alone, right? Let them experience the thrill, the suspense, and the heart-pounding moments with you. Trust me, they'll thank you later. Stay tuned for more stories, and remember, the darkness is always closer than you think. Subscribe now, and let's keep exploring the unknown together.